Matt Rosen is somebody that knows all about this. Matt is an online experience expert. How does one get? I have a lot of experience shopping online. Maybe I'm an online experience expert. I don't know. He is the CEO and founder of Aleta, which is a technology consulting firm. It helps companies automate and get them online seamlessly from in-store experience. Anyway, I wanted to talk to him today about this apparently this turn that we've taken as consumers. Matt, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about this. I think we were on the fast track to more online shopping than less before the pandemic, but the pandemic just accelerated everything, did it not?
Absolutely. This has really been an unprecedented time. I think about half of Americans are shopping online almost weekly, and this is going to be an unprecedented year for holiday shopping. In fact, more than holiday shopping has already started. At Amazon Prime Day, Americans spent $10 billion 2 weeks ago, and so those retailers who don't have their online experience ready to go are going to get left behind.
Yeah. Well, we saw that up here with food very early in the pandemic. Kroger, major grocery company here, they decided to turn a couple of their stores into quote-unquote dark stores, where it's just you call ahead, you pick your groceries up, you leave, you don't go in the store. And Macy's is doing that now, too, are they not?
Yeah, Macy's is doing it. In fact, one of our clients is a big party retailer, and they've turned almost every single one of their stores into a micro-distribution center. They had 2 big warehouses, one on each coast, and it was taking a couple days for people to get shipped. So if people want to have a party, they want to get their products and services that day. And so what that allows for is sometimes 2-hour delivery to almost 95% of Americans for that particular client.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the way we are as Americans. We want it now, and we want it last night. We don't want to have to get up, go in a car, go to a store, wander through a store, try to find it, and then bring it home. About the only thing I can think of where you would not want to do that is if you need something for your immediate survival. In other words, if you've got to get a pump of some kind from a big box store, like Lowe's or like Home Depot, or if you've got to get a chainsaw or something like that, then you might do that. You may not want to wait a day or two to get something like that. But anything else, clothing or trinkets or electronics or whatever it may be, if you got to wait a day for it and there it is on your front door, why go through the stress of having to find a parking space, go through a crowd, pay with cash, pay with card, walk out, put it in your car, drive it home? Right or wrong, we've progressed past that as a society, have we not?
We have. And it's believed that over 50% of Americans are actually going to do all their holiday shopping online this season. Heck, Sam's not even going to be there. For the first time in 150 years, Sam is not going to be in Macy's this year. So for the retailers out there, that are not the big boxes, they got to think about ways that they can be flexible, adaptable. Because one of the challenges with the big boxes is they don't curate the goods and services. You have to kind of figure that out for yourself. It can be almost an overwhelming experience. So I also see a trend of a lot more hold online, pick up in store, or buy online, pick up in store. And for some holiday shoppers, I think a big incentive is going to be a buy now but pay later for those that might not have the resources to get all the gifts that they want for their family and friends this holiday season.
Yeah, we used to call that years and years and years and years ago layaway. Now they call it credit, right?
Yep.
Matt, what about the small guy? What about the little guy? What about the guy that has the store that only maybe employs a handful of people, 5 to 7 people, but still has a thriving business, but you physically have to go inside that store to do business? He gets left at the post if he doesn't try and compete with this, but yet he doesn't have the resources that a lot of these major retailers have. He doesn't have the resources of a Federated department store or a Kohl's or someplace like that. What does he do?
So you're absolutely right. And for the smaller retailers, you can't compete. You can really only coexist with the likes of the Amazons, the Targets, the Walmarts. And so for them, what they really need to be thinking about is how to have a seamless online experience. The cost of entry for a lot of tools are very low these days. And so having an online shop with seamless integrated inventory so you know what you have on stock and in the online store at all times, and then easy ways for a consumer to pay is going to be huge. Leveraging that local brand, that local message, really personalizing experience to the local consumer, and also giving them lots of flexibility in how they actually are able to pick up the products they're looking for, I think is going to be key for the local retailer to kind of survive in this in this new pandemic economy.
Matt Rosen's our guest. He's the CEO and founder of Aleta technology consulting firm. It helps companies transition from in-store buying to seamless online buying. You know, there is a feeling, and it's I think it's among veteran Americans, people over the age of maybe 40, that want to go into a store and they want to see the product and they want to look at the product, and in some cases they want to try the product on to make sure it fits, as opposed to getting it in the mail. Hey, it looks good online. That looks like something I want. You get it in the mail. It doesn't fit. Well, then you have to send it back. And some of these companies, they have a return policy. I ordered some stuff from a company that specializes in sports gear, fandom stuff, and there was a huge return number on the thing. And I'm just wondering about, for that group, are the days of what we used to have, Christmas shopping, completely over, or do you think there will still exist something like that as we move on through this electronic generation to whatever waits for us next?
Well, even pre-pandemic, there were smaller pop-up stores, just not as quite as large of an experience. You know, the Trunk Club's a great example of a place that I shopped where you can go online and try things on, but then they ship the product, the clothes right to your door, and with a free shipping back and return policy. So I don't know that that's completely gone away. I think, during this pandemic time, I think, stores are going to have to really adhere to a lot of safety standards, maybe even have appointments where people can go in so they know they're going to have limited interaction with other folks. So I think that'll be one way that the veteran generation, if you will, can have that experience. But going forward, I think people are going to want to get back in the stores. I think it's just going to be a different experience than it looked like in the past.
So when Macy's closes its downtown Cincinnati location, which it has, when Dillard's closes a major store that it has on the east side of town and turns it into basically an outlet store, and people say that retail is dying, you would say what?
To some extent it is. And I think that the way retail continues on is with smaller footprints, more pop-up type experiences, more virtual experience where you might be able to put on a headset and see what you look like in the clothes. I think it's going to really migrate away, but I don't think big boxes are dead forever. I just think they're going to have to reemerge looking very differently than they do today.
And if someone doesn't play this game right now or has been slow to the take on this game right now, what can, and we talked about the mom and pop stores and the smaller guy, what can they do right now to get into this game so that a year from now they still have something to sell and still have a business to run?
If they're not online today, they've got to get there, and they've got to get there quick. They've got to get their inventory online. They've got to figure out how to market to their customers. They've got to think about creative ways, whether it's loyalty programs, whether it's discounts, whether it's the flexible delivery options. They've got to figure that out quick, because if they're not offering some sort of virtual or online experience via the web, via people's mobile phone, where a lot of people are doing shopping right now, it's likely they may not be around to see another year, unfortunately.
Clicks versus bricks, and clicks are winning that battle, and Matt Rosen is at the forefront of it. Matt, thank you so much for your time. You have a safe day, and I hope all your companies have a great holiday season. Thank you.
I do as well. Thanks so much for having me on the show, Ken. Have a great day.